Hello, Nori here. Welcome to another episode of Love and Deep Space. Today I will be talking about something different. It's not going to be the social discourse or the topic from where I last left, feminist critique versus traditional viewpoints. I'm going to let that topic rest. Although initially I did plan to make more videos on it, but there's some things that have been heavy on my mind, and the reason I'm making this video is to express those feelings and those thoughts. I'm not sure if more content creators do this, but I am doing this because it feels like a very necessary part of who I am, to express my feelings and my thoughts, and especially because they've been so heavy, and whenever things get heavy I end up expressing them. So this is my thing, I guess. So when I started this journey, it was more about documenting my gaming experiences throughout different games. And of course I ended up here in LADS. And my thoughts were also about documenting my gaming journey throughout LADS. But as I, spent more time within the fandom and by myself as well, looking at the general culture, I couldn't help but make the male validation video. It was so important to me. I felt compelled, really compelled to create that video. I felt like if I didn't create that video, I would be doing a disservice to myself, because for me that video was very important. Like, I really felt compelled. I felt that I would be restless if I didn't make that video. Somehow that video popped off and I ended up making some more videos that went along the line of a social discourse or a social commentary on issues, real life issues in fandom, etc., which brought us to this point, or the point of feminist critique versus traditional viewpoints, that the topic of the last video that I made. And some of the comments, even there or even on previous videos, kind of made me pause a little bit, because they scratched at a few of my insecurities, and I had to really stop and think and ask myself certain questions. Although majority of the response was positive, and I shouldn't have any reason to feel negative or even feel down or upset about, but there were some comments that made me feel heavy. And I know that internet is a place where things can get loud, things can get ugly, and things can get unfair at times. I would like to express that whenever I made these videos, and every video that I made throughout these past few weeks, or ever since I started making videos on the social discourse, I've always tried my very best to incorporate every angle that I could ever think of, and to be as respectful of people as possible, because I know that there are all kinds of people, and the idea is always to try and express my views or just perspectives without trying to hurt someone, because I know what it's like when somebody is hurtful, somebody just is racist and discriminatory and all of that stuff. So I understand that. My point has always been to be as respectful as possible, and I think in doing that, a lot of times I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Like, can I say this? Can I not say this? How respectfully can I say this? Will people take this as an offense? And to be honest, it's very, very anxiety inducing. Very anxiety inducing, because every moment I have to be extremely mindful, extremely aware that, okay, I am saying this. Should I say this? Is this okay? Am I offending someone by saying this? Am I being careful of someone's feeling while I'm saying this? And I know that it's not possible to make everyone happy, but my goal is always to try my best to incorporate as many people as possible, which might not happen at times, because in the end I'm also a human being. I will not be able to do that, even though my intentions are to do my best in terms of incorporating everybody's feelings and to be as respectful, as accommodating as possible. And sometimes it might slip off, it might slip away from my mind. I might not be able to do it well. And sometimes I even ask myself, like, what am I doing here? Why am I even making social discourses here? Like social, issues, video related to fandom or real life. One of the comments in my earlier video also asked me the same thing, like, why are you it's just a useless internet argument. Why are you taking that and making a video? What's the use of that? And honestly, I don't fault them, because before making the videos I also felt that why would I need to get involved in petty squabbles on the internet? Do I even need to document that? Do I need to highlight any of that? I can just casually ignore it and move on with my life, which I did most of the time. I did a lot, and now, after making those videos, now I'm asking myself, should I even continue? Does it make sense to continue with the social discourse? Or because certain comments have also made me feel like, apart from the fact that there were a few comments that, very negligible comments, but they did call me phobic of different types. And I'm like, it blew my mind, because I was like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to people. I'm not trying to be, be phobic, because if I did, I would have said a lot of things that certain people say, and it's hurtful sometimes when you're trying everything in your power to be as respectful and then still get called phobic. I recognize that's probably the way internet works. I think being a highly sensitive person also doesn't help me at all, because I'm very highly sensitive to certain things, and I get very disheartened very quickly, and I go through these really low sort of periods of time where when people misunderstand me or my intentions, when I've tried my best to try to be as respectful as possible. And sometimes some of the comments also made me feel like, I don't know if that was the intention, but I think one of the comments also said something like they were just scrolling and wondered why they had to even stop and look at this video or something like that. I'm not sure. Again, this is how I felt reading the comment. I don't know if that's what they were implying. And then that comment also kind of made me feel bad, because it was like, oh, kind of saying, why are you even talking about this? Why am I even watching your video? Why did I have to even stop through and see it? And I'm like, I don't know, sometimes some of the comments also made me feel like, why are you making these videos? Why are you talking about this discourse? Or What's the point of this? Like, why do I have to stop and look at your post? Why do I have to stop and look at your video? And I'm like, you don't. You have the absolute freedom to not do that. I have never asked anyone to even subscribe until now. I still won't ask anyone to subscribe. I don't want to. Because I feel like it's so much more rewarding when people subscribe by themselves. I've never asked people to watch them. I've always said that I'm very grateful, very honored that people would even take time and like watch these. Since there's no like great editing, nothing, it's just basic as video that I'm trying to make with whatever I can do. So the initial idea was never to make social discourse videos. It was always to map my gaming journey. In fact, I was just thinking to myself just like a couple of days into making this, and I was like, you know what, if I have to like see these comments and stuff while I'm already suffering from a lot of anxiety making social discourse videos within the fandom and about the game, or certain notions that I would actually prefer being a lore theorist or something like that. I would have rather done that because that would harness or harvest the potential of me being a literature student. Yeah. And the fact that I'm making these, I don't know. And I don't know. I would have preferred being a lore theorist in comparison, because at least there you don't get called phobic and asked why you're even doing this in the first place. The most people will disagree is on maybe your characterization or theory this thing, your theory, possible theories. That's the most people will disagree about. So I don't know, it's like it's walking on eggshells, being extremely anxious when I'm making all of these. So these come at a big cost of my own mental health. And now I have to ask myself, and I read those comments, like, why am I even doing this? What's the point of this? I don't know, guys. What's the point of me doing any of this? Yeah, it's just, I'm just rambling. This is just ramble, and I needed to get this off my chest. And I will go through these every now and then whenever I encounter some heavy feelings, so please don't mind. This will always be a part of my channel, I feel like, no matter what kind of content I create. And of course, going back to the point of being a lore theorist, is that I don't have the cards to make those kind of videos, although I would have loved to. But because I'm not a day one player, and it's impossible unless Info decides to rerun banners, I will not be able to indulge in myths and other lore theories. But yeah. Anyhow, just expressing myself. I know it's a bit messy and stuff, so I just hope you guys don't mind. I'll stop the video here. I've just said what I had to. And I thank you once again for subscribing, sticking through. And once again, I would like to tell you all that whenever I make these videos, I try my best to accommodate everyone's feelings, and I try really, really hard to not come across insulting, disrespectful, hurtful, because it hurts me in the end. And I don't know if you guys really want these anymore. I don't know. So anyhow, I think I should just sign off right now. If I should just sign out. So anyways, this is Nori signing out. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you.